We're going to the Mass Mutual East Division. Your team choices are Boston, Buffalo, New Jersey, New York Islanders, New York Rangers, Philly, Pittsburgh, and Washington. Who are the 4 teams you are picking to come out of that division, starting with you, Jesse Blake?
This is an easy one. The Islanders. Too hot to handle. You can't sleep on the Islanders. Coming off Eastern Conference Finals berth last season, they're only going to get better, especially with Matt Martin re-signed for 4 years. I believe in Lou Lamoriello. Next up, Boston.
Jesse, your first mistake. It's actually the Dunkin' Donuts Eastern Conference Finals.
That's right. That's right.
All right, how dare you?
That's paying Matt Martin's salary, by the way. So we're just throwing that out there.
There you go.
But okay, Matt Martin, by the way, locked up to a 4-year deal, $1.5 million per season, and that'll bring him to the end of his career.
Lou Lamoriello has given Matt Martin 8 years and $16 million.
I don't understand I even less understand GM of the year last year. Like, I get it when he was winning cups, but the GM of the year thing did not make sense to me. And also, when you've got Matt Barzal sitting on the sidelines and you've got $4.5 million in cap space, why are you signing Matt Martin?
Prove a point, or because you just legitimately think that's the right thing to do?
Jesse, your next choice.
Next up, Boston. Definitely see them still being a cup contender. I don't think they'll go too far in the playoffs, but I definitely think they're going to make it. So we got the Islanders, we got Boston, we got up-and-coming Philadelphia Flyers. I have Carter Hart, stealing a couple games in there. Definitely bring them to the playoffs.
Say Carter Hart in Boston.
Steve, go ahead.
Carter Hart. There it is.
Sorry, Jesse, have you also been watching Bridgerton?
I might have checked it out.
Yeah.
And then
man. It's a good show.
So we got New York, we got Boston, we got Philly, and lastly, the New York Rangers.
Ooh.
I have Pittsburgh missing the playoffs. I got Washington missing the playoffs. I got New Jersey and Buffalo. I think the Rangers are going to surprise a lot of people. They've made too many nice moves, and having the first overall pick this past season, having Lafreniere on that team is definitely going to help. I think it's going to jumpstart them, and I have them sneaking in as a surprise team because there's always that surprise team that comes out of nowhere. And my bet this year is that it's going to be New York. Steve, who are your 4 teams?
I do have Pittsburgh, actually. Now, eventually their playoff run is going to end. Eventually they're going to miss. I just feel like they did so poorly in the bubble. And even though I don't really agree with a lot of the moves they made in their offseason, like Sidney Crosby just has this ability to will his team. And Evgeny Malkin too. So I just don't see them missing. I got Pittsburgh making it. I have Zdeno Chara's Washington Capitals making the playoffs as well. Another team that really disappointed in the bubble, but they're going to get there. Bit of a different situation in net, but they're just, again, there's still too much skill there. I think they're going to be good. I have also the up-and-coming Philadelphia Flyers. I had them going to the Stanley Cup final. I was a little surprised to see they didn't do so hot in the second and a half round. But Carter Hart, just another year better. They're amazing. And Boston, even though they took the hit of losing Chara and losing Krug, both on the left, they have an identity. And no matter who they plug into that roster, they're going to play like Boston Bruins. The Islanders I have on the outside because they're currently without their best player. And until they get him back, it's kind of an X factor. And they lose Thomas Greiss. And the Rangers, I could easily see them making it, but I just feel like maybe one more year.
Okay. Now I'm going to
Sorry, Devils and Sabres.
Yeah. So process of elimination is how I'm going to approach this division. Who are your 100% going to miss the playoffs? Buffalo, New Jersey, 100%. 100%. They're bad teams. And I know Buffalo Sabres fans are excited. And I know Eric Stahl looks cool with his long hair. Right? And like he looks pretty badass. It's wicked, right? He looks like a Viking. Like, cool, man. Like, I'm
great
happy.
Guy.
Yeah.
I think my favorite interview from St. Louis. Great guy.
So, but sorry, Buffalo does not have it when you compare it to what other teams in this division have. We also know New Jersey stinks, but they're trying to turn it around. It's a development year. So be it.
They're good at goaltending though.
Yeah, sure. They still stink.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, who are your maybes?
in this division.
Who are your maybes in this division for the playoffs? Because I'm going to say Islanders and Rangers are in the maybe discussion. I put the Rangers in there because they're on the up, and I put the Islanders in there because they're on the down if Matt Barzal does not sign. As of this recording, he has not signed. So to me, the Islanders are not a playoff team. This is a team that already struggled to score goals. And
I think they're on the down no matter what.
Well,
they lost Taves for picks and didn't really replace him. They're losing Boychuk as well.
Mm-hmm.
Did they lose Andy Green or no? They kept him.
Thank God.
They kept him, but I want to say, didn't they replace Thomas Greiss with Corey Schneider? That's
another
tough.
Lou guy. Well, it is tough. And I wouldn't. The one thing with the Islanders is goaltenders do well there. The Trotz system is good for goaltenders, and they've got a brilliant goaltending coach. I mean, this is the team that revived Robin Lehner and Semyon Varlamov in consecutive years, so you can't count them out.
Right, but if your body's busted, like, what are you going to do about that? His hip's brutal. And by the way, they got Ilya Sorokin, the guy from the KHL. So that's different. Pretty big difference over Corey Schneider.
But we still don't know what he looks like in North America. It is a question mark.
Yes.
And so I would say, for me, as long as Barzal is not in the lineup, the Islanders are not a playoff team. It's not going to happen. So from my vantage point right now, the maybe that is the Islanders, no way. Now, I also look at the Pittsburgh Penguins as a maybe. Now, I lean them towards the playoffs as well, because I don't think you ever bet against Sidney Crosby and Evgeny Malkin. I'm wondering, Tristan Jarry's been very, very good. Is Tristan Jarry going to be enough? Is their defense going to be enough? Is the depth there anymore?
Re-entering that equation.
Yeah.
Boy, I really hope Kasperi Kapanen didn't blow it, because supposedly he's got some sort of visa issue or whatever. I don't know if it's his fault or whatever. But
I've asked around, and apparently team's not upset with him about it. So I guess it's okay, things do seem to happen around Kasperi Kapanen, but this might not be one of those things that happened.
It's a pandemic and there's continents involved.
What's ever happened to Kasperi Kapanen? I don't know.
Oh, things just happen. He just happens to be there when they do.
Nothing's ever happened.
It's quite cheeky.
Right. Yeah. And apparently he's a lot of fun. I'm not taking shots like it. They're just
totally.
Some people are accident prone. Am I right?
But we're talking about a guy who's got an opportunity to play with Sidney Crosby.
Yes.
And let's say he's a week late to the season and whoever Crosby starts with is hot as a pistol. All of a sudden you maybe never get that chance.
Yeah. And you got to play with Gino. Shit.
What a bummer. Maybe if you're lucky.
No. Oh, come on. If you're lucky. They gave up a first round pick and Hollander for him. He's playing in the top 6.
Yeah. You're probably right.
They don't have anyone. Right. Who else is going to take his spot?
Jake Gensel.
Is he even there anymore?
No, Gensel's there. No, who am I thinking? Jason Zucker, who I forgot they completely had.
That's right. Oh, yeah.
They don't have Hornquist anymore. No more Horny.
Hornquist is gone, yeah. So I'm going to say Buffalo, New Jersey, Islanders not in. Pittsburgh's a maybe, and the New York Rangers are a maybe. Boston, Philly, and Washington, to me, are locks. I'm trying to decide between Pittsburgh and New York who I like the best.
Pick your 4. What is this?
I think
six
based on this.
List the rest of the teams too.
You're gonna list New Jersey again, Adam?
We're breaking down the divisions. I'm trying to talk about players.
Break down the rest of them.
But I'm thinking that because Artemi Panarin's coming off an MVP caliber season, that I'm going to go with the Rangers on this one. I think they've got the goaltending. I think they've got the young stars. I think Lafreniere is good for 40 points in 56 games. I think the New York Rangers are going to make it, and I'm calling for the Pittsburgh Penguins not to. I don't mind eating my words later on, but I think the New York Rangers are going to be scary good in a couple of years.
I will say this with Lafreniere. The more, because people are releasing their models. Oh, here's how many points we think this team is going to get, or these players or whatever. The least predictable are the guys who have not played NHL games yet. Right. And Lafreniere, I think, is maybe the biggest X factor potentially in the league, because how do you properly calculate that? He's never set foot in the NHL.
Can I just say that those models are garbage? Like,
you can say it.
You can say whatever you want, man.
Okay, that's how I feel. Like, okay. I don't believe your computer's generating how these guys are going to play together over the course of a season. You're guessing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, obviously, but it's like educated guess, right?
Okay, but it's not based on anything.
Yeah,
Because there's no
find
knowledge of the future. Like,
No,
you're not a time machine.
I know they use information and educated guesses for the guys who have never played before, but I just feel like those are the teams that always, oh, where did this come from? What do you mean, where did it come from? All the rookies. This is where it
No,
came
but it's
from.
also, how do you predict the Leafs if half the roster is turned over?
Right.
What is your computer going to say that how this line's going to play together? How is Thornton going to play on the first line?
Well, you got to say something.
Right.
And you got to say something, and this is their
your opinion on the matter based on like the history, and not, hey, this computer says Thornton scored this many points over his career, and this is how many points the Leafs are going to get. Like,
I don't think anyone's model says Thornton on the first line is a good idea.
Well,
mine doesn't. Mine up here. But who knows? I've been wrong about Nick Robertson as a forward.